Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
Well, San Antonio Councilwoman Ibaliz Mesa Gonzalez has been arrested for driving while intoxicated. This is the third San Antonio councilperson to be arrested for a DWI charge in 3 years. And our Sarah Costa is live outside the Bexar County Jail. And Sarah, has she bonded out yet?
Steph, have we confirmed that she has bonded out? At this time, we're honestly just waiting for her to be released to come out these doors. We're hearing it could be anywhere from another hour to 2 hours before she does that. So her bond was set for $1,000 for her DWI charge. Now let's take a look at this video. It's from her being magistrated earlier this morning. The arrest affidavit says an officer pulled her over on I-10 in Hildebrand after they witnessed her swerving in and out of her lane and the shoulder while driving slow. When the officer pulled her over, they noted that she had a moderate odor of alcohol in her breath, slurred speech, and was staggering and swaying while she walked or stood up. She denied having anything to drink, but she told the officer she was coming from a downtown club called Center Club. Now, on its website, it lists that it's a penthouse members-only club that overlooks downtown San Antonio. She refused a breathalyzer test. Her blood was drawn when she was taken into custody. It'll be another 8 to 10 weeks before we actually get those results in. Now, Mesa Gonzalez was elected as District 8 Councilwoman back in June in a runoff. This is her first time on council. Before, Gonzalez previously worked at the San Antonio River Authority and most recently served as the chief of staff for former Mayor Ron Nirenberg. Now back out here live again, we are just waiting for the councilwoman to be released. She has bonded out. It could be another hour to 2 hours before she actually walks out these doors. And of course, we're going to bring that to you as soon as it does happen. We'll have those updates on air and online. Live from the Bexar County Jail, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News. Stephanie?
All right, Sarah, thank you for that live report. And looking outside live with the camera out there, 87 degrees, we are warming up. I see a lot of sun, but there are some rain chances, Shelby.
Yeah, so the cloud coverage, we've been tracking it throughout the morning. That's been continuing to slowly creep through areas across south central Texas. We've still seen mostly clear skies so far, but we're starting to see that cloud coverage come in, and that's also going to help stunt our temperatures. Right now, taking a look outside, temperature is sitting at 92 degrees in San Antonio, 94 in New Braunfels, 90 in Del Rio, 88 in Boerne and in Kerrville, and we're still seeing these temperatures warm up. And as these temperatures continue to warm up, then we're going to continue to start to see that cloud coverage really continue in areas of South Texas before our actual air temperature is allowed to get to about 96 degrees. So it is still going to be very, very toasty, but still closer to average. Our average, remember, is about 96. And then this evening, we are still going to see more widespread cloud coverage before the rain chances really return to the forecast, about 30% tonight and into tomorrow morning, maintaining that 30% to even 20% at times because of the rain. Now, look at authority radar. Right now in San Antonio, not really seeing anything. There is a little bit of feedback coming off of the radar. A few showers already starting to pop up just south into the east of Floresville, down near Victoria and the coastal plains, and then in Houston. But all that moisture that's currently being filtered down there will continue to make its way into San Antonio and even south central Texas throughout the next few days. So what you need to know is the rain chances really start this afternoon. That's why we have a 20 to 30% chance for most of us today. But if you're closer to the coastal plains, that might be higher for you. So definitely pay attention. And then the rain chances continue through about Sunday. Now, these are not going to be heavy, severe. These are going to have sporadic, brief downpours at times. We are not tracking any hail associated with this, but this could produce some rain. Flooding is still unlikely. However, down closer to the coastal plains, they are expecting more rain accumulation. Still only tracking about an isolated, very isolated 1 to 2 inches of rain. In San Antonio, we're looking at half an inch, maybe even an isolated inch or so, but we're mostly staying under at least half an inch of rain. I'll talk about the future cast, what you need to know, especially because it's a weekend. I'll talk about all that and much more coming up in just a bit, Steph.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, today the nonprofit Mercy Chefs announced that they will continue to provide free food to Kerr County far into the future with a permanent kitchen in Kerrville. Our Devin Karp has the latest on how they'll do it and how it will continue to benefit the community for years to come.
After today, Mercy chefs will have made more than 60,000 meals for first responders, volunteers, anyone affected by the floods here in Kerr County. And they've done it all out of these trailers so far, but they say that's soon going to change because they're here in the Kerr County area to stay. The nonprofit says it's going to establish an actual kitchen in town in partnership with another church and nonprofit for the need that was here in the community before the flood and the need that will stay here in the coming months of recovery. They're going to hire people who live here in the community to give more employment opportunities for affected neighbors who worked in the service industry, all while giving free meals out every day to anyone who needs it. Their founder says this isn't the first time they've done this in a disaster, and it won't be the last.
Sometimes it's not enough for us to be there for a few weeks. Sometimes it's not enough for us to be there for a few months. So we've stayed in places for years that they've needed us. Mercy Chefs believes that Kerr County is going to need us much longer than the immediate response.
They hope to have the kitchen up and running by August 4th out of the Light on the Hill Church. In the meantime, the nonprofit says all of this isn't going to cause any disruption to the free lunch and dinner they've been giving out every day here in the parking lot. The kitchen's just going to make things better. I'm Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Devin. Well, new this noon, authorities are trying to find this missing child out of Converse. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office posted these images on its Facebook page today. An Amber Alert has since been issued, and BCSO says Broderick Hastings was last seen by his parents yesterday. And the Sheriff's Office says that Broderick was last seen by witnesses walking eastbound on FM 78 wearing a dark-colored hoodie, khaki pants, and carrying a blue backpack. So if you know where deputies can find him, you're asked to call the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. That number is 210-335-6000. You can also contact the BCSO Missing Persons Unit by emailing missingpersons@bear.org. Well, Texas Crime Stories is back with a new case to look into. The cold case of Antoinette Jordan has remained unsolved for 35 years now, and one of her children is speaking out for the first time.
I just remember her leaving, and I just remember waking up and her not being there, and I knew something was wrong because my mom, when she go out, she'd always be there the next day.
Well, Trevin Jordan was only 8 when he last saw his mother alive, so she was found murdered under a bridge on the city's east side. So tonight at 6:30, our Erica Hernandez gives us a look back at this case and why Jordan says he's speaking out now. Well, a man is facing at least 9 charges after authorities say he led them on a chase. The sheriff's office says that chase reached speeds of 100 miles per hour. And this happened on Wednesday. And according to DPS, Dustin Lawrence Witt aimed his vehicle at a Texas Department of Public Safety trooper who was setting up spike strips. Comal County deputies say the trooper managed to jump out of the way. However, the sheriff's office said that the pursuit ended on Farm to Market Road 3009 and Ramble Ridge when Witt's vehicle was spiked several times and became unusable. Witt was then arrested, and he is facing several charges, including reckless driving and driving while intoxicated. Well, Southtown Stable has announced that it has closed its doors for good. That's according to a Facebook post from Cascabel Mexican Patio. The restaurant is on 1000 South St. Mary Street and it closed on Wednesday. So in a post on Facebook, it said it's been an amazing 22 years serving up great food, family recipes, awards, and countless smiling faces. Thank you to each and every one who came in and loved the food. The restaurant also said that the Facebook page will remain open to continue sharing recipes just in a more up-close and personal way. Well, for the first time, we are hearing directly from the Spurs on what they are willing to pay for a new downtown arena. It is the latest development in the Spurs' push to move back to their roots at Hemisphere. RJ Marcus breaks down this proposal from Spurs chairman Peter Holt.
More than $1 billion. That's the number coming directly from Spurs chairman Peter J. Holt as the franchise looks to move back to the downtown area. In a letter obtained by KSAT 12, which you can see right here, Holt submitted his proposal to city manager Eric Wash and city council. This is ahead of a special city council meeting today where the arena proposal is on the agenda. The $1 billion number would be the investment from the Spurs and their business partners, and that is what they're willing to do and willing to make in order to get the new arena built. So let's go ahead and break this all down. Now, Holt writes in that letter that $500 million would go to the arena and SSNE would pay for the cost of overrun charges and coverage. Another $500 million would then go to downtown development near the arena, and $60 million would be for community incentives. That includes incentives for some local businesses via Park and Ride for up to 2,000 single game primary ticket buyers and 500 tickets that will be made available for every Spurs home games at, get this, $25 or less. The organization also proposes underwriting a new policy that would target early childhood education and childcare in the community. San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones spoke with us last night about the latest developments as the city continues to look at some of these overall numbers.
Folks are, are asking, can we get some of that concession money? Can we get some of that parking? Can we get, right? It's because I think in folks' minds, it's not just how do we pay for it, but again, it's also how does the community benefit?
So this letter answers a couple of those questions and concerns that Mayor Jones had. Now, Holt also writes in this letter that the Spurs have been engaging in these discussions with the city for close to half a year. This proposal from the Spurs is expected to be discussed during today's city council meeting, which is happening at 1 o'clock this afternoon. And we, of course, will have updates right here on KSAT 12, KSAT.com, the KSAT app, and KSAT Plus available any way that you stream. Back to you.
Thank you, RJ. Well, caring for a loved one who is living with Alzheimer's can be challenging and costly. We're going to tell you how one local nonprofit is working to help families get more affordable care. Well, more than 33,000, that's how many people are living with Alzheimer's here in Bexar County. And the cost to provide care can leave many families with little to no help. Well, Meals on Wheels San Antonio is looking to help more families by introducing new lower rates at their Alzheimer's Center. And the more affordable option is not only helping the families, it's also helping those suffering with the disease live a better life.
The tree.
Lupe Cardenas has been living with Alzheimer's since 2020. However, here at the Grace Place Alzheimer's Center, she's been happy.
My mom, she's a girly girl. She loves to get her nails done, loves to get her hair done, loves all her clothes matching.
Lupe's daughter, Laura Hernandez, told me her mom has been coming to Grace Place for more than a year.
Alzheimer's does take a lot as a caregiver out of you, but when you bring them here with somebody that you trust, you know that you can go home and do the things that you need to do.
However, from medical bills to paying for this type of help, it got costly for Laura and her family, which is why they had to stop bringing Lupe to Grace Place, but just for a short time. So while dealing with the rising cost of running a facility like Grace Place, Meals on Wheels Director of Marketing Ariana Barber says they still recognize the need for more affordable care. So they lowered their rate, allowing Laura to bring her mom back this past June.
We have found is that the sooner someone comes to us and is engaging on a regular basis and socializing with people and getting to do our activities, the longer you have that person that you know with you.
Tell us how this has helped you as well.
It helps being able to bring mom to somewhere that we know that she's being very well taken care of.
Laura tells us this allows her to help her dad with her mom, and she has more time for her grandchildren.
I have a 7, 5, 3.5, and 3. So I have 4. 3 are boys, 1 little princess granddaughter. And so spending time with them, it just gives me joy.
Laura also told me her mom is thriving here.
So she's happy. Every day when he picks her up, she's extremely happy.
And if you'd like to find more information at Grace Place, you can go to the Meals on Wheels website, but we also have a link on our website at KSAT.com.
Yeah, it's so great to see them happy doing things they like. Now, some people do like the heat. I am one of them, and today's going to be a warm day for some. We're already sitting at about 92 degrees in San Antonio, 90 in Del Rio, 90 in areas of Pleasanton. Now, throughout the rest of your day, we are going to continue to see the temperatures increase. 96 degrees is our peak temperature today in San Antonio, but looking ahead to the weekend, we're tracking some rain chances. Saturday's 40% chance, Sunday's about a 20% chance. Temperature still staying in the 90s, but those rain chances. I'll talk about what you can expect today and this weekend coming up after the break.
So there are a lot of people at home who are fans of the heat and a lot who are not fans of the heat, which happened yesterday. So I guess they could look forward to a little change maybe today.
Yeah, so yesterday we hit our fourth 100-degree day in the entire year of 2025. Today's a little bit of a change up in the weather pattern. Today we're already seeing some rain out east, already make its way to San Antonio. Not quite to the city, but we are seeing some rain already start to pop up in Floresville is what we're watching, as well as some near the coastal plains. And that's especially what we're watching. Areas near the coastal plains continuing to have that chance for later on today, really having the chance and potential for all of this to move closer to San Antonio. So that's what we're watching today. There is no flood watches, there's no active warnings or anything like that. So you can be at ease for just a little while longer. But I want to go straight into the futurecast because that's what's on everyone's mind is how we've seen a lot of rain, what more is to come. So here's a look at your futurecast. Over the next few hours, we're going to continue to see all of that moisture currently sitting in the Gulf really rotate around that upper level low. And as it rotates counterclockwise, all of that wraparound moisture is going to make its way to San Antonio and south central Texas. This is going to continue throughout the evening hours. There is still about a 30% chance of rain for the city. And as it continues, there is still going to be more chances of rain overnight tonight. And we're still going to continue to have those mostly cloudy skies overnight as well. Now, by early tomorrow morning, even by 7 a.m., all of that rain that could fall in San Antonio tonight pushes down to areas near that I-35 corridor. But then tomorrow morning, we get not only more wraparound, but we also get the daytime heating chances of some showers. We get the sea breeze chance of showers. So there's a few other reasons as well that we have more chances tomorrow afternoon. And although it says it and looks very isolated, don't forget that there's still about a 40% chance of rain tomorrow. This is going to be in the afternoon as well. Still seeing a few more pop-ups continuing until about 7 p.m. tomorrow night. And then as we go into Sunday morning, we get one last push of some of that available moisture and that saturated moisture to continue to impact areas of south central Texas. Now, how much rain are we thinking? I know a lot of people are still thinking about what happened in the hill country, and our hearts are still with everyone up there. And they don't need any more rain. Most of Texas doesn't need any more rain. Well, the good news is that in San Antonio, we're not anticipating a lot. We are anticipating still a little. Let's see if I can query this here. But still, as you zoom into areas of San Antonio, where you see those bluish colors, that light blue, that's maybe a 1/4 inch of rain. So we're not expecting a lot. Now, as you go into areas closer to Houston and the coastal plains, that's where we're tracking, like I mentioned earlier, the chance for maybe 1 to 2 inches, but it's going to be very isolated as that continues to go forward. So you'll have to stay tuned and check in back with us to stay up to date. We'll keep you posted throughout the entire chance of rain, but temperatures throughout the rest of your day, your peak temperatures, like I've been mentioning, getting into those 90s, 96 degrees in San Antonio, 100 degrees as you go down I-35 near Carrizo Springs, Cotulla, and even closer to Laredo. Here's that 7-day forecast. Wrap it up for you in a nice little bow. Temperatures continuing over the next 7 days to stay in those 90s. Some of us this weekend will continue to be a little cooler because of the rain chances. So Saturday might be looking at about 93 degrees, but don't forget, you might be having a little inconvenience this weekend due to the rain chances. We'll be right back after the break.
Do you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite hairstylist? SA Picks is back, and we want to know who you think are the top businesses in the city. There are more than 90 categories to vote on. Just scan the QR code on your screen. You can vote for each category once a day, and you have until August 1st to vote. The finalists will be announced on August 19th, and then there'll be another round of voting from August 20th through September 12th to determine the big winners. We'll announce the winners in late September, so cast your vote now for your favorite business to be recognized as the best in San Antonio.
Well, here's a quick look at fun things to do this weekend in San Antonio. So the San Antonio Zoo is showcasing big bugs, animatronic insects you can see through September 2nd. This is included with your admission. City pools are open with extended evening hours, some even starting early as 10 a.m. So families can also catch hairspray at the San Pedro Playhouse through August 17th. And if you love monster trucks, Hot Wheels Glow and Fire is at the Frostbank Center July 26th through July 27th. To see a full list of events, you could just head over to this article on our website at KSAT.com. Well, we are learning more about the people and pets giving first responders a shoulder to lean on. Look at the important work that they're doing. Well, the Federal Emergency Management Agency has proposed slashing nearly $1 billion in grant funding. The proposed cuts will require approval from the White House Budget Office and Congress. CNN is reporting that the funding for more than half of FEMA's emergency management and Homeland Security grant programs would be zeroed out. It is funding that goes to communities and first responders nationwide to better prepare for disasters and to bolster security for possible terror or cyber attacks. DHS, which oversees FEMA, said it is looking to cut unaccountable programs to end waste, fraud, and abuse. The Trump administration has been looking to shift more responsibility for disaster preparedness, response, and recovery onto states. Parts of Amarillo saw high water after strong overnight storms. So this area off of Interstate 27 was almost completely submerged due to those flash floods. Interstate 40 has also been impacted there, so it's estimated that the slow-moving storms dropped up to 8 inches of rain per hour. The National Weather Service says flash flooding stranded multiple vehicles. Thankfully, no injuries have been reported.
Yeah, Steph, I know that's a very tough topic, especially what happened here in the Hill Country. Now, yes, we are anticipating rain here in San Antonio over the next few days, but the chance of flooding is unlikely. So I just wanted to put everyone's minds at ease. But yes, you still need to be advised and still need to be careful for any future events in case there is still heavy rainfall. But right now, we're not seeing any rain, at least in San Antonio, sitting at about 92 degrees. 84 New Braunfels, 89 Uvalde and Kerrville, 84 in areas of Gonzales. Now, although we are still sitting right along the border of we're in those 80s and 90s. If you look basically along I-35 and to I-37 and go east, that's where we're seeing that cloud coverage. And you can really tell just by the temperatures, 82 degrees in areas of Nixon, whereas if you go west, that's where we're seeing a few more 90s for some of us. But this is just the air temperature. Take a look at the heat indices. We're feeling warmer. We're feeling like we're 95 degrees at San Antonio. Feels like 97 in Castroville, Rio Medina, even getting up to Bandera, Comfort, Canyon Lake even feels like we're 97 degrees. And although some areas just to the east are still sitting with their air temperature in the 80s, they can still feel like they're in the 90s currently. So that's another thing is, although we're still seeing the temperatures a little cooler, it can still feel warmer. It's still going to feel muggier as well. So still something else you need to take into account as we go throughout the next few days. Now, like I've been mentioning, today is still going to continue to be a little warmer, sitting at about 96. Tomorrow, when we see more widespread rain and more cloud coverage, that's going to allow our temperatures to be about 93. We do warm up before we get our next chance of rain. But still, this weekend, still going to be fairly cool, sitting at about 93 degrees. And here's that cloud coverage, like I mentioned. It's been coming in from the east in areas of Houston and even from the Gulf. And we're tracking one light little shower in Stockdale and Floresville now starting to enter. So coming up, I'll talk about that little cell and what is in store for the future chances of some rain showers coming up in just a bit, Steph.
Thank you, Shelby. Well, there is confusion and concern in the Hill Country. Why hasn't the Upper Guadalupe River Authority upgraded its flood warning system? Well, lawmakers questioned UGRA leaders during an 11-hour meeting and hearing, citing a Houston Chronicle report that the agency raised property taxes nearly 50% after the deadly 1987 flood to fund alerts. But decades later, those systems remain outdated. UGRA says they need more money. Lawmakers say they simply chose not to improve it after missing out on grant funding.
We weren't successful in achieving these match dollars in order to move this project forward. We tried, we didn't get it. And so when the regional flood planning process came about, we thought, well, maybe now this will be an opportunity to try to get grant funding again for that.
Sad thing, that's what makes me upset, is that the Upper Guadalupe River Authority had the funds to purchase the sirens, and because they didn't get a grant, they chose not to purchase the siren warning system.
Well, the same committee will be in Kerrville next Thursday, July 31st. And there have been thousands of first responders who have made their way across the country and across the globe to help families in the Hill Country. That work, though, can take a toll. But thankfully, there's help on the ground from the Texas Emergency Medical Task Force. So this emergency task force is deployed to the state of Texas to come to natural disasters or large-scale events where a lot of first responders are needed. And that task force of peer support is made up of first responders with counseling training, talking to, comforting, and sharing stories with crews. They say that mental health is important for the neighbors affected by the floods, along with the first responders working on them, even if it's just for a few minutes at a time during meals.
That's kind of a unique experience to be part of such a tragic event, but be able to kind of see the good in it. And us really being out here, you know, there's our peer support team has all of the members of it have worked with all of the people out here for years and years. And
well, the EMTF says along with working on shorter conversations for first responders in between breaks, they also have resources for them for longer term care closer to home in different parts of Texas. The team will still be here, though, throughout the rest of the upcoming weekend at the First Responder Assistance Center, but they are also on call, ready to go wherever they're needed. Well, the first heat-related death of 2025 has been confirmed in Texas. The Dallas County Health and Human Services Department says a man in his 60s with unknown pre-existing medical conditions has died. Now, officials urge people to prioritize heat safety and protect themselves as high temperatures continue across Texas and throughout the rest of the summer. A new face is joining our Ernie Zuniga for his latest edition of Pickup Lines. San Antonio native details how she built a career working in digital, print, television, and even rubbed elbows with some big names. And if you're looking to avoid the heat and the potential rain this weekend, you might want to duck into a movie theater. We're going to have a look at this weekend's box office offerings. Well, it's a superhero showdown at the movies, the Fantastic Four. First Steps is flying into theaters to take on Superman. ABC's Sam Champion has more on the battle of the summer blockbusters.
It's a fantastic weekend brewing at the box office as Marvel's First Family prepares for a superhero-sized premiere.
We will face this together as a family.
The Fantastic Four First Steps is expected to rake in more than $200 million worldwide. The retro-inspired reboot starring Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss-Bacharach, who took over GMA on Thursday, is hoping to clobber the competition.
The clobbering time? Oh, yeah.
But are the blue jumpsuits kryptonite for Superman?
Eyes up here.
Soaring into week 3 of its release.
We found it? No, it found us.
And the dinosaurs are not extinct just yet. Jurassic World Rebirth remains hungry to take a bite out of the box office. This is the summer for blockbusters in theaters. Lilo and Stitch became the first film of the year to cross the $1 billion mark. As theaters prove they can pack the seats by premiering exclusive teaser trailers ahead of blockbusters, like the highly anticipated Avatar: Fire and Ash, dropping overnight, and Christopher Nolan's new film, The Odyssey. Theaters also offering limited edition collectibles. This massive Fantastic Four Galactus LED popcorn bucket is already sold out. And after flexing the biggest screen, IMAX announcing this was the highest grossing quarter ever in North America. Driven by a record number of made-for-IMAX releases like Sinners, Mission Impossible, and F1 the movie.
You just wait, I'm quicker than you. Hi, I'm Sonny. So one way theaters are getting people to come out and make it a blockbuster summer is really selling them on the idea that come see this movie in IMAX. You have a great TV at home, but this is even better than you can have.
Well, how exciting, but I have to admit that Shelby and I were looking at that merchandise.
The popcorn buckets are a little interesting.
Yeah, that's very large.
Yes.
Like a collector's item for sure, I guess.
For sure. Well, this weekend's going to be a good weekend to go see a movie, get indoors. Right now, take a look at Authority Radar. Some of this is just feedback, but over in Floresville, just to the east of it, that's where we're tracking our first little band of some rain, and we have more rain on the way. It's starting today and finally pushes through by around Sunday evening. I'll give you a futurecast and talk about how much available moisture there is for these storms and showers to continue coming up after the break.
Well, this week on Pickup Lines, we're going to hear from a local media executive and producer who has built her empire over decades and includes work in digital, print, television, and so much more. Cecily Armstrong grew up here on the South Side with her single mother and a father who worked in newspapers. She eventually went to Marshall High School before leaving for New York City on a dance scholarship and pursuing her passion for magazines and publishing. So her work also took her to LA, where she rubbed elbows with celebrities and covered their fashion.
I loved growing up in San Antonio, and I was always an incredibly proud San Antonian in New York and LA. I mean, really, like, I wasn't one of those people who was like, oh no, I'm from,
right.
You know, I was, and so, many times, Ernie, that worked to my detriment.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had to really, I became quite a big, well-known magazine editor at the time when magazines were everything.
Yeah.
My timing was very good.
We love that she's proud of San Antonio. Well, in this episode, Cecily also recounts her days as a kid reporter during Hemisphere in 1968 and how she ended up on set of Steven Spielberg's film directorial debut here in San Antonio that actually happened in the early 70s in the movie The Sugarland Express, starring a young Goldie Hawn. So the latest episode of Pickup Lines premieres this afternoon on the free KSAT Plus app. You can also watch it on our website, ksat.com. Just search up Pickup Lines. Very neat interview there.
I love watching the Pickup Lines because I get to learn little tidbits about San Antonio too.
Yes, and you get to learn interesting things about, like how she got her start, kind of like working in the background of the newspaper and like to even get a shot at the movies.
I know, it's absolutely crazy and amazing. But I mean, good thing it's filmed inside the car, though.
Yes, I'm sure he has his AC going. Ernie
AC
does, yeah.
But then you can't have the AC too loud because then you'll hear it.
I know, you never hear that. He's very sneaky about that. He's got good audio for Pickup Lines.
But I mean, being inside, that's going to be kind of what you want to do today and tomorrow. We're already seeing some rain on the Authority Radar currently. Now, most of it's still out of our area, but it's still going to make an impact. So here's what you need to know as we head throughout the next few days. Yes, take a look at Authority Radar. Yes, we're still seeing some rain in areas just to the east, but the heaviest rain is just off the coastline. Now that is anticipated to make its way to San Antonio over the next few hours. Now, right now, closer to the city, we are tracking a nice little quick area of some showers. It's going from Lavernia, just passing Lavernia, actually near Stockdale, down through Falls City. And if we take a ruler, this is about a 32-mile wide or mile long area of some just light rain. Now, once again, this is continuing to move to the south and to the west a little bit, so it might not last long for everyone, but otherwise we're still seeing most of the rain just to the east of us and even areas offshore. So what does that mean for us? Well, here's the amount of moisture. Now, with this entire system, we are tracking a low pressure system, and I'll talk about that in just a second. But with that, it's been allowed to just spend a few days in areas of the Gulf. And as it spent a few days in the Gulf, it's allowed to be able to achieve more moisture and get that saturated air. So as we go through today and even tomorrow, that saturated air, all associated with that low pressure system that's going to be right around Brownsville today and tomorrow, that's going to continue to push into areas of San Antonio. And as it does, remember how I mentioned it rotates counterclockwise. So as it rotates counterclockwise, it's going to continue to push some of that saturated air into areas of San Antonio today, tomorrow, and then on Sunday morning. We're still seeing a little bit of that saturated air, especially along the coastal counties, and we're going to get one last push before some dry air starts to feed in behind this low pressure system, giving us a quieter Monday and a quieter Tuesday. But still tomorrow, you need to know that although, yes, San Antonio is not expected to receive a lot of rain, just to the east of us, including areas of College Station, Beaumont, and most of the southeast, going from Louisiana, even into areas near Mississippi and Alabama, we're continuing to have that marginal risk for a light chance of flooding. That doesn't mean you have and you will continue to see flooding, but just know that some areas are already prone, so there is that precaution. But once again, we're tracking maybe 1 to 2 inches localized of flooding. We're not tracking that heavy amount of flooding. Now, this is that setup. Once again, starting to see some cloud coverage return to San Antonio, but that high pressure to the north, that was the weather maker yesterday and the last few days. This is that low pressure system, and you can see all that moisture already starting to form on the northern side and that northwestern side of this low, getting closer and closer to San Antonio. So keep in mind, even if you don't see any rain today, you still have a few more days where you do have the chance and you do have the possibility. But once again, that's just the amount of moisture that's here in the atmosphere. Not everyone is going to be able to see and have that chance for the moisture. So here's your 7-day forecast. Once again, still seeing the rain chances throughout the next few days. A little bit of a break Monday, Tuesday, but then Wednesday, Thursday, we have another chance of another upper level low, bringing us more rain in areas of south central Texas. So we'll keep you posted on the rain coming up next weekend, but stay tuned for the rain that we can see today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We'll be back after the break.
Well, San Antonio sports kicked off the Road to Race Day to get runners ready for the inaugural San Antonio Marathon in December. Well, the event replaces the Rock and Roll Running Series, which was in the Alamo City for 16 years until its final race last year. So the new marathon has a lot of excitement around it, and it still holds the same values, an event where everyone can run, regardless of experience. The San Antonio Marathon will take place on December 7th, and you can register right now. We have a link to that on our website, KSAT.com. Just search San Antonio Marathon.
Our mission is to transform the community through the power of sport. So being able to own and operate our very own signature marathon event is just such an honor for us.
Well, the San Antonio Marathon, again, happening on December 7th. Don't forget, you can still register. You have plenty of time. Again, we have that link on our website. That is KSAT.com. And this next school year, so the bowl games that raise money for hunger relief organizations throughout the state of Texas during week 1 of the high school football season.
And that we believe in you as well. We know that you're difference makers. You're not here unless you are. So we know you're going to make a difference in this world, and we're excited to see what it is. And you can start with Peanut Butter Bowl.
Well, Alamo Heights High School kicked off the press tour for the organization, and the organization is looking to beat last year's numbers. So they collected 115,000 peanut butter jars, and 25,000 of that total came from last year's winner, Bernie Champion. So Alamo Heights head football coach Ron Rittman and Steve Teal first thought of this idea back in 2016. And it started with 2 San Antonio high schools and has now expanded to 104 schools across the state. So did they ever think it would get this big?
You know, you never know. It started off just as kind of a coffee shop discussion between 2 or 3 guys, basically. And to see what it's grown, like sorry about that. man, it just makes you feel good to know that you can be a small part of something that's just, what a great opportunity for so many people. So to see it reach this many campuses now, this many, and it's growing across the state now, man, it just makes you feel good about doing the right thing.
It is awesome to see so many people help out. Well, the 2025 campaign invited schools from Houston and the Dallas area in order to expand that cause. You can find more information on peanutbutterbowl.com. Well, late breaking this noon, just in the last few minutes, San Antonio Councilwoman Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez has bonded out and left the Bexar County Jail. This comes after she was arrested for driving while intoxicated. An arrest affidavit says an officer pulled her over on I-10 in Hildebrand after they witnessed her swerving in and out of her lane and the shoulder while driving slow. So her blood was drawn when she was taken into custody. It's going to be another 8 to 10 weeks before those results are in. Mesa Gonzalez was elected as District 8 Councilwoman back in June in a runoff, and this is her first time on council. And of course, we're going to keep you updated throughout the newscast on the day, and we're going to also have a report on our website at KSAT.com. And again, that was Councilwoman Ivalis Mesa Gonzalez has bonded out and left the Bexar County Jail, and she was just elected as District 8 Councilwoman back in June in that runoff. Thanks for joining us here on the News at Noon. Have a good day.